My name is Nail Ali Emmert. Originally from Newark, New Jersey. I was born there in 1992 on September 18th. I was raised by a white woman. Her name is Wendy Emmert, and she adopted me when I was 3 months old because my birth mother was an alcoholic and could not take care of me. She didn't have the resources, she didn't have the ability. Before I moved from New Jersey to California, and then from California to here. I'm going to stay for a while. I'm going to go back to school after I get done with my next term of service with the Arizona Conservation Corps, and I'm going to go for my majors in zoology, specifically in the areas of ornithology and herpetology. I don't feel as though being a person of African descent has stopped me or made it harder for me to get a job. I have a job now, like I said, with the Arizona Conservation Corps. It's just a really worthwhile endeavor because it teaches me, again, leadership, responsibility, communication, all of the good things. I am a gay male. That's not to say that I do not like women. I find women extremely pleasing. I am physically and not sexually attracted to women. The shape of a woman's body is beautiful. I love how women move, how they speak, how they think. I just don't see myself as being with a woman. I see feminine aspects in myself, and I try to emulate those because I admire women. I grew up in a house full of them, so I learned from them. But when it comes to a relationship with a woman, I don't know. There's just something lacking. Me and my mom and my two sisters had to move here because of stuff that went wrong with the will. After my grandmother died, that's why we were in California. We were taking care of her. My sisters are both of African descent. My sister Mia is living in Albany, like I said. She's a nanny. And I love that because it shows that people see her nurturing and mothering as healthy. My sister Jessie is younger than I am. She's 20 years old. And she's going to school full-time at the University of Arizona for nursing. And she's already got 2 jobs. She works at Starbucks and Target. And I'm proud of her for that because it shows that persistence and knowing what you want to do with your life gets you through no matter what your racial background is, no matter what your ethnicity. I wasn't really sure about whether or not I wanted to move out here, but it wasn't really my option. I'm glad I did now because just the environment of Tucson, the sort of really art-focused culture that exists here is nourishing to me. It's what I live for. I play a wide variety of percussion instruments as well as being a violinist. My styles are gypsy, folk, Arabian, fiddle, and Scottish and Irish fiddle. I'm proficient as a dancer in the genres of hip-hop, jazz, ballet, tap, modern, and African dance. I got inspired to start playing the violin through watching YouTube videos of really amazing violinists doing their thing on stage. Just the response that they were getting from the audience and the way they were feeling up on stage, sort of energy charged, feeling pushed to do their best, motivated me to start playing because I like attention. I like drawing attention. I like giving the audience back the energy that they're giving me. It's sort of like a give and take that you have with the audience when you're playing on stage or dancing on stage, for that matter, and that's what keeps me going. I started dancing when I was little, around the age of 8. My mom put me and my 2 sisters into a hip-hop class, and we basically fell in love with it. My sister Mia, who lives in Albany, New York, is a hip-hop dancer. She used to live here and dance with the Human Project, and she inspired me to keep dancing, even though I sort of wanted to stop. But if I hadn't kept dancing, I wouldn't be nearly as coordinated or centered in my body as I am. Art has influenced my life in that it's taught me that what I can give back is just as valuable as what I take in. What I learn every day can be passed on to somebody else. and that's made me more of a teacher, more of a leader. Being the type of person who likes to teach is important in this day and age, because if somebody doesn't keep on teaching what they know to other people, art forms get lost. And when I first came here, I was 12, and because I was so young, I wasn't sure of who I was yet. My mom had a computer, and she found in her history some of the sites I'd been looking up that some of my friends had told me about. Typical. But she started asking questions, and she started making me think about why I was looking at stuff that wasn't normal. I don't like the term normal. Normal to me is mundane and boring. That's why I'm dressed like this. Over the course of the next few months, I started to realize that I wasn't like everybody else, that I was a little bit different, but in a good way. In a good way. All of my friends knew that I was gay before I told them. They were okay with it. No one really backed away, shied away, made cruel judgments. My mom was very, very supportive when I came out to her at the age of 15. It took me 3 years. Like I said, my mom was supportive because my older brother's also gay. And of course, there were 2 other girls in the house, so if my mom wants grandkids, she can go to them. Or I can adopt. That's an option too. I have been bullied on several occasions, not recently, because for the past few years I've taken up extensive martial arts studies, and because of that, my body has developed to a place where people don't want to mess with me, and that makes me really happy, because not only can I stand up for myself better when it comes to issues surrounding LGBTQ based confrontations, but I can stand up for others, not only with my brawn and muscle, but with my brains, which is a lot more important, and it's something I strive to do more so than fighting. I don't like fighting. Before I was bullied, I was a bully. I would belittle people and demean them for no reason other than making myself feel better about myself. It's just not the right way to live. I don't feel as though it fulfills any purpose other than making yourself feel better for a short span of time. In my second year of high school, I became aware of Wingspan, which is an LGBTQ resource center, and lounge space. They were an outlet for me because I felt at times that I wasn't valued. I didn't value myself as a person, and when I went there and sat in on their support groups, I gained a little bit more confidence. There, even more so than high school, surprisingly, is where I learned most of my public speaking skills, through working at tables that we had set up at events, doing presentations and workshops in front of a bunch of my, I'll call them peers. They're also my friends, are also my friends. And just being around people like me, you know, being among family, chosen family, that is. At times, I felt as though my adoptive family were a little bit wary, sort of uncertain about who I was, and that just fueled my insecurities. So I spent more time out of the house than I did in the house, and while I was out of the house, I was with friends who identified on some end of the spectrum. My dating experience in Tucson, Arizona has been somewhat limited. I tend to stay away from dating because I like to be around as many people as possible. I'm a social butterfly. I'm a little bit of a slut. If I were to meet the other half of myself, I would be able to limit that. But until I do, I'm not going to, because I like to have fun. I feel as though, because I'm a black man in the gay community, I'm expected to be a thug. I've actually had people comment to me on how well I speak, and that pisses me off a lot. It makes me absolutely irate, because to have it assumed that because I'm a person of color, I have a lower vocabulary and vernacular is nonsense. I'm expected to be somebody who is very, very dominating. I'm expected to be somebody who doesn't take shit from anybody. I'm expected to be somebody who I'm not. A big concern when it comes to being a black man in the gay community is that people don't want to have sexual interactions with me because they assume that because I'm black, if they have AIDS. People can have their stereotypes. I don't want them. Racism is still a very real thing, even in this day and age. Not surprising, per se, but disappointing. I realized that being who I am is nothing to be afraid of. And if people are afraid of it, then again, that's on them. Being comfortable 110% with who I am and being able to express that without fear of judgment, that's probably my biggest joy in life, just knowing who I am and knowing that's who I'm going to stay. When somebody yells, faggot, out of their car at me, I know that it's just coming from a space of insecurity. Maybe they're questioning who they are, maybe who they are is being tested. When it comes to sexual orientation, I don't know. That's on them, and I leave it with them. I don't react to them. If you get angry, if you get overly emotional with these people, they feed off of that. I actually came into this project not knowing much about it, and what made me decide to want to do it was just the energy that the project is putting out. I like how it's focused on a certain group of people in order to bring them more into the proverbial spotlight. It'll give us names out in the community, and that's valuable because some of us don't have the resources or motivation to make names for ourselves.